Washington, D.C. A community in South Carolina devastated after a massacre inside a place of worship. 9 were gunned down at a historic black church in Charleston. The suspect is in police custody. For the very latest, we're joined by CCTV's Roee Ruttenberg, who's outside the church. And Roee, we understand the suspect is now back in South Carolina.
That's right. He was in the hands of the FBI in North Carolina. That's where he was apprehended some 400 kilometers north of here, more than 12 hours after the shooting. Now, news of his arrest was welcomed by many people here, but the nightmare that the people of this city have endured is far from over. The sounds of prayer silenced by gunfire. The gates of Emmanuel AME Church were closed on Thursday afternoon, a makeshift memorial in front, symbolizing a city's grief. And a young man, 21-year-old Dylan Roth, now in police custody over the killing of 9 worshipers at the church. Authorities clearly relieved to have caught him.
I cannot say how thankful I am and how appreciative I am of all the people who came together during a very tragic situation, a horrific situation, and one that has touched the heart and soul of every person who lives in this community.
A community still in shock in the streets and in the halls of power.
We woke up today and the heart and soul of South Carolina was broken. And so we have some grieving too. And we've got some pain we have to go through.
Officials say the massacre will be investigated as a hate crime. The alleged white gunman reportedly said he wanted to kill black people. Relatives of the victims want to know why, while recalling their lost loved ones.
I want Cynthia to be remembered for where she was when she died, in the church. She was a strong lady of faith. She was committed to her community. She loved her family, and she loved her congregation.
Roth reportedly spent an hour inside the church before he opened fire, sitting quietly among those he would go on to kill. Now, Elaine, American churches, particularly here in the South, are known for their open door policy. Anyone of any race is welcome at any time. After the shooting, now many people are asking if it's time to change that policy.
Roee, what else do we know about the alleged shooter and his possible motives in this case?
Well, a lot of information is coming out from people that knew him. His uncle telling one media outlet that he warned his sister, who would be the suspect's mother, that 21-year-old Dylan Roth was a lonely boy who would likely get into trouble. He spent a lot of time alone in his room, and he was worried about that. We also understand that he received a pistol from his father on his recent 21st birthday. One roommate indicating that he knew about Roth's intentions some 6 months ago. That could possibly incriminate him. And friends now saying that Roth was hoping to ignite a race war through his actions. Some of that information coming through various social media outlets. Also, there was one picture in particular where Roth is wearing a jacket that had 2 flags on it, the flags of South Africa during the apartheid years and also Rhodesia, a country that preceded Zimbabwe that had elements, political elements, racial elements that resembled apartheid South Africa. In the mid-1960s, as this part of the U.S. was going through the civil rights struggle, Rhodesia was established unrecognized, but many white supremacists, or those lined with white supremacist ideology, empathized with Rhodesia, and authorities started tracking pro-Rhodesia movements. Many people now linking that flag on his jacket to tendencies in support of white supremacy.
All right, CCTV's Roee Ruttenberg live in Charleston, South Carolina.